Hey everyone, I'm making this video to explain myself better and also to make a few points that I've been wanting to make in response to other people out there, okay? First of all, people have been asking me ever since I've started making these videos about job ideas for the county and also for the city of Russellville, why are you bothering? What's in it for you? Why even do it? What they don't understand is I want better for this town. I truly do. Because although I appreciate having jobs in my life, I've had some pretty crappy jobs. And I have to admit that. And I want better. I want better. I'm grateful. I'm glad because, it's a living, it's survival. But I would like to see better. I want to see better in this town. And if I don't say nothing, it's not going to happen. Naturally, if you just walk around with your head in a cloud and never say anything and never speak up, then nothing's going to happen. And that's my point. I've heard all this stuff all these years. All you hear is, yeah, we're going to make things better, blah, blah, blah. But it never happens. It seems like everybody just does the minimal and that's it. And that's why the companies that are here get away with cheap labor. Because there's no competition. That's why you got people that have these few bigger companies on the city council and in other areas of local government. Because they know they can say no. They can vote no to any other businesses coming in here. Unless the people of the town kick up about it. See, a lot of it is because people don't say nothing. So a lot of this stuff is done just poof. Bada bing, bada boom. They done voted no before you even know it. You don't even know that a company's even interested in this town until after it's done said and done. And then somebody says, oh yeah, Campbell Soup Company didn't come in because so-and-so voted down because he's got this big factory out at so-and-so and he don't want the competition. That's why we didn't get that. Then you're like, whoa, I didn't even know that they were interested in us. And I hate feeling that way. And I'm tired. And that's where people need to speak up. We need to reach out. And that's why I have taken it upon myself to not only make videos, but to contact other companies. And I know some people may not agree with that or whatever, but I feel like if I don't say that, hey, we exist here. Hey, are you thinking about building another plant? Well, if so, we got a city right here called Russellville. Why don't you check us out, So I just feel like it's something that's within me that needs to be done. I went to school, got a diploma, and went to college. And why do all that if it's for nothing? If I know that for the rest of my life, I'm just going to be stuck with a barely over minimum wage pay grade, that's... that's a hard pill to swallow. So I got to have hope. And I know a lot of people feel that way. You got to have some kind of hope. Even when other people are being negative Nancy's and saying, no, I don't think so. You still got to find a way to hold your head up and say, I do think so. So, that's why I'm doing this. Because I do hope that somebody somewhere is listening and that they can make it happen. And that's why I still believe we need a mall in this town. But I do agree that it needs to be on the 4-lane. I think downtown, my idea downtown, even though it would be doable, it's still, and maybe something else can be done in that building besides that. I know they got that lighting company and I'm not trying to knock that, but I don't know. But I'm just saying that maybe a mall might not be the best idea there because of the crampedness of it all, and, the traffic and all that stuff. I think that probably would be a bad issue. So, but anyway, it was a thought. It was an idea, But I do believe that the mall ideas that I had for inside the building and on the roof and all that, that can be transferred to a mall on the 4-lane. Because I really believe it can work. And the point I want to make to these people that say, we don't need that here because statistics say that, it's not a good idea because this town can't support it and all that stuff. The mall is a business. A business employs people. Those people are employed. That's a job. That's money. Not only do the other people of the town can shop there and, buy things, the people that work there can too. So it's like everybody can. But I do agree with the point of you can't just slap up a retail outlet and expect that to work. Because no, that alone will not work. I agree with that full-heartedly. You've got to build entertainment around it. You can build it inside and outside. And when I say that, like all the ideas that I had in my Mary Mall video, put those types of shops inside. Also put, restaurants, like I have mentioned. Put a shop with, large strawberries, chocolate-covered strawberries. That's the point I'm trying to make, God. But yeah, large chocolate-covered strawberries, that's something you don't get around here. You have to order that from somewhere else or go somewhere else to get that. Just like big chocolate-covered apples. You don't get that around here either. I mean, you have to go off. There's people that have worked at places off in Huntsville and whatever that do that type of thing. You don't get that around here. Except maybe on holidays or something, and your aunt so-and-so makes it or whatever, or grandma, so you don't really get that around here. So that would be something unique and delicious that we could offer. So yeah, and you have all these different flavors inside the mall. You have a resting area for people, a place to eat. You have vending machines, and I'm talking about vending machines of all kinds of things, like anything that offers both American style of food, but also maybe some Asian stuff. Asian dishes could be offered in the vending, or Asian snacks, I should say, could be offered in the vending machine, as well as, French or German or whatever. Something special from those other countries could be offered in these vending machines. And then there can be offered all kinds of stuff like umbrellas, toys, cell phone accessories, and you name it. All that could be offered in that. That'd be something fun to do while you're resting, and you can snack or whatever. Because you got to bring something to where people can rest, because like I've said, most people don't want to just shop all day nonstop. They want to take a break and rest, and they don't want to have to go all the way back to their car to do that. They want to be able to rest where they're at shopping, and then regain themselves, and then go back at it. And people like walking around exploring things. Honestly, I think if you just got a line of, shopping buildings or, shopping outlets, you're just going to go in a straight line from this end to that end. And it's not as fun or as interesting. You're mostly just you're going to want to get in and get out and go back to your car. And there's not any really socializing, and there's no entertainment or nothing like that. It's boring, and those types of things, I can see where those things would fail. But if you bring in the entertainment and all this is done right, then it can be a wonderful thing. You can bring in people from all over. It won't just be people of Russellville supporting a mall. It would be people from all around North Alabama supporting a mall. And, but you got to give them a reason to come here. And that's why you need the entertainment. That's why, you'd need a bowling alley, a pool hall, a sports bar, a dance area for teenagers, an arcade, and a play activity area for small children. All those types of things. Things that bring in families. Things that families enjoy doing of all ages. That's what's going to keep a mall here. Not a boring, just shopping-only mall. An entertainment mall. That's what's going to make it happen. And I'm telling you, that would be successful. You just got to get the right people to back it and to get it going. And then also, I was thinking like the parking lot. Naturally you'd want like a large parking lot and have an area sectioned off at certain times of years where you can have, or certain times of the year where you can have people that maybe the community wants to put on a yard sale or have a car show or, some other type of thing. And what would be even nicer is if you had a coliseum within the parking lot to where you can have food expos. You can even have themed food expos like corn, wheat, rice, whatever. You know, you can mix it up at different times of the year. You can have this type at Food Expo, that type, you know, and you can have a whole variety and have all kinds of vendors from all around. I mean, that would bring people from all around to see that type of expo, something that, you know, now people have to go all the way to Birmingham for. People could come here and do that and see that. I mean, how cool would that be? I mean, that would really put Russellville on the map if it offered stuff like that. It would bring all kinds of people here, and they wouldn't have to fight that Birmingham traffic. They can just come here. You know, I mean, how cool would that be? And, you know, you could have computer expos. You can have job fairs. Instead of people having to go to the hotels and stuff like that, into their banquet rooms or whatever the heck, they could just come to the Coliseum and have a job fair. And you could have people from all over, even as far away as Huntsville. You know, they could come there and have job fairs. That would be so beneficial to people. You know? So that's all I'm saying. Just whoever, if this ever does get built, you got to put the right kind of people in charge of it and in the management position that know how to network up with other people and get the vendors in here and get all that stuff popping. Then something can be successful. But if you get people in there that are just going to sneak around and steal money from the account when nobody's looking, then, yeah, you're not going to have much going on, and it will go belly up. But if you get people in there that actually are there to do their job and actually care and are excited because they themselves would love to see a food expo here, I know I would. Heck, anybody would, really, you know. So if you got that kind of people doing it, it can be a success, and I know that it can be. And that's where you can't always listen to the naysayers that say, no, 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 no. People like that don't get anything done. And they always find an excuse. They always got an excuse why it can't happen. And I'm not being hateful towards them. I'm just saying sometimes we all kind of get in that mode and that way of thinking. And we find an excuse to not do something, so that's what we do. And so, you know, but we kind of got to break away from that. And it's going to take more people to do that. Okay, and this brings me to my feelings about the social center and all that type of thing. Okay, as for the senior center, I'm glad that they have a senior center because those people have worked hard all their life and they deserve a place to go and socialize and have activities and all that type of thing. I think that's great. But I do think they should not have knocked down the town park in order to build it. I feel like it should have been put in another location, but the fact is it's here. It was built there, but I do feel like they should put a park back on the premises for the children. Because that farmer's thing that they're using, that structure with a top on it or whatever, I think it's not really being used that much because I think people have kind of migrated to the 4-lane up in that area. On just up from the shopping center, Franklin Shopping Center. A lot of people do their farmers market stuff up in there from what I understand. So I don't really think that thing is being utilized that much anyway. So in my opinion, I say knock it down, put a small little park back in there for the kids. So that way while the seniors are enjoying themselves inside the building, the children can have fun playing in the park instead of having to go way over next to the school in that bad area to where you have to watch out and not get hit by traffic coming in and out just to pull in and out. It's a one-way in and out anyway because they blocked off that other end. And to me, nothing about that park says come here. It just doesn't, the location is bad and it's not, to me, it's not very inviting. There may be families that go there all the time. Good for you. Kudos to you. But to me, it's not inviting. And I just don't see too many families really wanting to hang out there. Because it's not, people kind of like to people watch anyway. And people want to be in a centralized location when they're out, especially, when they're out with their children, whatever. I think, and children benefit from being in a more social area. And that was a hot spot. Back when I was growing up, I used to love to go to that park. Every chance I got. I lived off in the country, but still, every time, somebody went to town, I loved being able to go play in the park. And a lot of people do. And it was in a central location, right smack dab in the middle of town. And children love that. And that's why, I feel like in the mall, there needs to be in a central location where they put the fun stuff for little children to play in. I think that would be wonderful. Very family friendly. And that's the whole point of all of this. But to bring me back to the social center idea, like I have said, I would love for us to have it. And I think that I still hold firm to the belief that it could be put in that Faith Mission building. I really believe that. You don't even have to do much to the outside of the building. Just fix it up inside and do what you have to do structurally to the outside. But you don't really have to change it much. And that way we can put in, a running track for people inside to where people, can pay a gym membership. Whatever is decided is fair for that. People can do that and go in the evenings or mornings or whenever and, run, walk, whatever they want to do. And then people can play in the gym, play basketball, volleyball, whatever. And people can even kind of like relive their high school days. Back when people used to play sports when they were teenagers and whatever. You can kind of relive that dream. And maybe even there can be tournaments. And at nighttime on certain nights when nothing else is going on sports-wise, then the community could have tournaments and stuff. And, people, they can have a senior tournament for, the elderly, and they can have adult tournaments, for older people that, are not teenagers anymore, but yet want to, play ball and feel like a teenager again. Have that little spark inside of them, that competitive spark that's been dead for so long, I think that would be wonderful. Which I'm not really crazy about sports myself, but I can still understand. I can understand the urge and the desire for that. I truly can. So I would love to see that. And I would love to see a place that offered different kinds of classes for people, have it set up to where you get like a transcript, but yet it's different from college in the sense of it doesn't matter about your criminal background. It doesn't matter about any of that thing other than maybe, child molester or whatever. I mean, those people can't be around children or anything like that anyway. But I'm just talking about like whether it be drugs or whatever you've done in your past that you want to keep in the past and you're a changed person or whatever. In other words, this wouldn't be held against you. It doesn't matter. Your criminal history doesn't really matter. You can go to this place and you can learn English. You can learn, brush up on your English skills, whatever. You can learn math, science, botany. You can take art classes. You name it, history. I mean, you name it. You can take all these classes, job skills, sewing, home economics, whatever. You can learn so much and have fun and enjoy yourself. But yet you get like a readout every so often, like however they want to do it, like whether, they want to do it every 6 weeks, every 2 months, 2 or 3 times a year, however they do it, you get like a transcript that kind of tells you what your GPA is, your grade point average. And the good thing about it is you can take those classes as many times as you want and just bring up your grade point average as you go. In other words, there is no limit and there is no real true pass or fail. There's nothing that says, okay, because you made a low grade point average, you can't come back here no more. No, nothing like that. That's just for you. That's just for your own self to where you can kind of know where you're at and maybe where you feel like you need to be as far as learning. And then also you can take like any certificates, like once you pass the classes or whatever, you can take that certificate to a job interview or whatever and said, hey, I took these courses, and you can even take your GPA with you and your transcript and say, hey, this is where I'm at, and I'm proud of myself or whatever. And so it would be something good. You truly can. If it's done right and you get the right people in there and they figure out what the prices need to be and all that, and maybe even get government grants for this or that or whatever, it can really be successful. I mean, I know you got to figure out your utilities, maintenance, teacher pay, all that type of thing. But, I mean, it can be done. I mean, and then a fair price can be decided, and I really think it would be a hit with the public. And also have another building that's connected up with it to where people can learn vocational skills like welding and electronics and automotive and construction and things like that. Things that you can't really learn all of it inside a classroom. You can learn it hands-on and actually working on something, even cabinet making, that type of thing, woodworking skills, all that. Those can be handled in a shop, have like a building, a nice building created that is sectioned off for these different and used for these different classes. Like, you got your welding over here, your auto mechanics right here, and so right there. And people can do that. People can work on cars and just different types of things. And that would help people. Might help people get better jobs. Might can get government funding for that, and people can take that and go get a job at one of the big plants around here or something like that. So I really think if people thought about it, it can happen. It's just people have got to believe in it, and they can do it. There are people in this community that have that level of knowledge and have that level of power and all that. I know there is, and they just, all they got to do is just choose to do that. At least I hope they do. So, yeah. And also, I want to bring up the point of these churches that have set up in some of these shopping or old shopping outlets. I'm not saying this to be ugly or anything like that. I don't want to come off that way. But you have to have an understanding. If you don't own the building or own the little shopping outlet or storefront that you're putting your church in, you have to understand as a renter that there may come a time when you will have to move. That if the city or whoever owns the building decides that they want to do something else with that building, you may have to move to another location. And just because you put a church in that storefront, that does not make that holy ground and make it to where it cannot be, you cannot be evicted or it cannot be knocked down or whatever. You got to have that understanding, and you got to be adult about it and realize that. And understand that the church is within the people anyway, and that you can relocate somewhere else. And this is where I wish some of these bigger churches that seem to always want to go to places like Africa and South America and all these other places to build churches and all that. Why don't you reach out to your brother here at home first and find out if there's some brother over here running a church in a shopping outlet. See if you can't help him or her go build them a church somewhere else in the town to where that would be something of their own and something that they can grow in whatever. I mean, that to me, that would make more sense and more logic. And I just don't understand why there's not more of that going on. I mean, if you can go spread the word to people in Africa or people in South America, why can't you do it at home? Why can't your charity start at home? I mean, that's how I look at it. And I know this is going to make people mad, but I can't help it. I feel like it's something that needs to be said. And I've said it. And that's just how I feel about it. And I don't say it to be ugly. Please understand, I'm not trying to be ugly and hateful, but I'm being logical. And you just got to understand that when you do that, that was a shopping outlet before. That was the purpose of that building to begin with, and it could be changed back into that at any time, or it can be just completely knocked down and a parking lot put there, or a park, or whatever, just a lawn of grass. You know what I'm saying? You have to have that mentality when you put it in there. And I know some people have been in some of them for years, and I can understand that, and I can feel for you in that sense, but also, you know, I can use logic and understand that, you know, you can relocate, because that building does not make your church. Your church is within you and your fellow members. So, you know, and like I said, that may be cold. Some people may feel like that's cold, but it is a hard, cold fact. So, but I'm going to end on this because I don't want to make people more angry at me, but it's just how I feel, and I just wanted to say something and give people a better understanding as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is why.